Well, just trying to think of what we can say. It's not Batty. And I love Batty very much. And he's not going anywhere. Only Elsa came into my life a few days ago. If you can see her ears, she's in a bit of a bad way. And I went and got her. Well, I went to go and see her, actually, to see if she, I'd seen the picture and seen her ear, a bit of her ear, because in the video and everything else, they seem to have cut off, like, in the pictures, part of her ears. And I thought, there's something really odd here. And I asked a question, I got no reply. I thought, I've got to do something. So I did. Tracked down the person who wasn't the person who'd put the video on, and I made an arrangement to go and see it straight away. So me and Batty set off to go and see, and we found her in a yard on a chain, which is not abnormal in Portugal. And she was on a zip line, and she could run from one side to the other. And her ears were just big scabby crusts of something, weren't they? Eh? And she was barking at Batty. And so Batty went and sat in the car. And I tried to have a bit of time. I kind of decided there and then she was going to come with me. And so she came with me. And we've been getting to know each other. And I contacted a few of the vets that I know. And sent pictures. And one's coming to visit her soon. And we've got her under a certain medication. And I'm treating her paw and her ears daily, many times a day. And I'm doing training with her, which she's enjoying. She's loving training, which is what she needed, because German Shepherds should not be on chains, left to go crazy. They need stimulation. And together we are stimulating each other, because it's a few years since I did the work where I worked with Max, and I was sat there and I keep having flashbacks to my time with Max. And those who knew me then knew Max, and he was a beautiful dog, and he was so obedient and so much character and so loyal. And she shows a lot of characteristics that Max did. And we sat in the front of the van. She's watching out, listening for everything, like Max used to do. I yawned and she yawned, and then I yawned. And we spend bits of time with each other, and we're getting to know each other really well. And Batty doesn't really like her. He does, but he doesn't, because he loves me and he doesn't want to share me, which is okay if it's dog sitting, because Batty loves to do dog sitting. He loves dog friends. But Batty knows that it's different now, and there's something other than Batty that Batty needs to share, and Batty's not so keen on that at all. So it's been lots of small introductions, and it's not Elsa. When you bring them together, it's Batty who starts, isn't it? Eh? you're good and you just want to say hi, and he wants to bark at you and bite at you, doesn't he? You don't need that, do you? Eh? So I'm just going through all that at the moment. And for an outside dog, when she's in one place, she doesn't go to the toilet, which is really weird, because when you have any dog, especially in a kennel setting, they usually, only house dogs don't pee in their space, you know, and they'll virtually cross the legs and wait to be taken for a wee and to go for exercise. And I've had experience with many dogs, hundreds of dogs, over the years, hundreds, all different breeds. And I used to foster. Now I've worked for, I fostered for Daneline. Used to foster all animals for Tameside Animal Shelter and do dog rescue and things. And I've fostered for APAT in Portugal as well. And now she's in our lives, which is interesting. But I'm a bit tired because I've had a few days now of I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I've had a few days of getting up in the middle of the night to come out to the car because that's where she wants to be, and just sitting with her and making sure she goes for a wee and settling her down, and then introducing them both to eat together and separating them again and walking them both and all the different things that happen, only 3 times as much, which is quite tiring. But it's good to get into a routine, isn't it? Oh, you're not really bothered. You're not really bothered, eh? She's not really bothered. So, yeah, it's been interesting, remembering Max and my time with Max. And remembering how it happened, how Max had to go to a new home, and that broke my heart. And I always said I wouldn't have a dog again. But it had come down to my daughter being so very, very sick. And at the time, I used to walk Max like 12 miles a day. And he was a working dog, and I had Cody, who was training as a working dog. Max was a German Shepherd. Cody was a cross Mali cross Shepherd, but Belgian Shepherd. So he was training with Max, and we were working, and my daughter got very, very, very sick. And she needed me full time, and I had to give up work. And I tried to keep my boys, but I wasn't able to because I knew that it was cruel to keep them and I couldn't give my daughter everything that she needed. So I rehomed them with a guy. So they went together and they got a good working life with someone who wasn't going to be violent or anything, that's stuck with the same kind of training codes and morals that I have. And so they went, and I tried to check up on them sometimes and see how they were, and they disappeared a year or so ago, and I've not been able to follow them since. But I think about Max every day. You know, we was really well bonded, and that was a really hard time in my life and a really hard decision to make. And here I am now. I wasn't really looking as such because I've got Bear coming, I've got the goat coming that's a rescue as well. So Bear's a rescue, the goat's been a rescue that's come across my path, that are all waiting to move over to the land when I get it. So I wasn't looking, and I didn't want another dog, or the responsibility of another, because I knew I was right with what I was getting and where I was at and the speed of things. But it just so happens that this transition point in my life, that she's come into my life and she is like Velcro. And she sticks to me, and she's so attentive, and she's so good, and she just wants to hang out. She's so calm and so chilled and so intelligent, and I don't know, but it's funny because I always promised myself I'd never get rid of him. He had to go because it was him or my daughter, and my daughter came first. She really seriously needed me. And it's funny because I think Elsa seems to need me. She needed something, and someone who would dare to take on a dog that seemed a bit nuts on a chain with such poor health, you know. And I couldn't leave her, and she came with me. So yeah, it's weird how she's now with me and I'm about to enter this new phase. So I guess she's exactly what I needed, and I must be exactly what she needed. And whether we stay together, I don't know, but I'd imagine so. And it's going to be really kind of tough these next few days, moving and doing stuff with Mr. Jealous Batty and and Elsa, who's not jealous. She just wants to have fun. As they say, girls just want to have fun. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. So watch this space. Don't know if you can see, but Elsa's doing really well with the shadow training, so I'm not looking at her. I'm just wandering around, and she's virtually attached to my leg. On occasion tries to step in front. Every time I change direction, she changes direction. You can see her. I don't know if you can see her. Yeah, you see. So she's doing really well with recall. Really, really well with sitting when I stop. Let's see if she does it now. Hey, she's not doing it now, probably because I'm videoing, but she's staying exactly at my side. Like, where's she gone? How do you do it? So, there you go. Say hi. Yeah. You're doing good, aren't you? Yeah. You clever girl. Yeah. So she's in really, really clever, aren't you? Really, really clever. Yeah. Come on. Good girl. Yeah. Well done. Well done. Yeah. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. So remember, in 2 days, because it was 2 nights she stayed, so she's had 2 days with me now, and in that time she's learning to settle down, she's learning to follow, she's learning recall. And this was a dog who was supposedly kept on a chain her whole life, and she's 7 years old. Well, that's what they say anyway. Her ears are making improvement. She allows me to clean her and that, clean her ears even though they're sore. We have lots of times cuddling up and laying down together, and she's doing really, really well. So I'm dead proud of her. I don't know whether she'll make me a really good dog to stay with or someone else, but I'm really glad that I took her from where she was and that she's getting the opportunity to just see what it's like to be in a garden. She's awesome.